Hi, I'm Paul Cruz, the proud superintendent of the Austin Independent School District. And thank you for checking in with me as we bring you new information about opening up schools this next school year. Today, we're going to talk about all things early childhood education. And I have one of my colleagues with me here today. Amy, please introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. I'm Amy Cortez Castillo. I'm the Director for Early Childhood for Austin ISD.
Thanks so much, Amy, for being here with us. There have been so many questions about, instruction and coming back into school. And one main question that I get, because of the age group in early childhood education, which is pre-K through grade 2, what is remote learning going to look like? Can you just give us some examples, some definition what it's going to be like?
Yes, Dr. Cruz, that's something we've been thinking about for a long time now, since March, actually. What will this look like? So it's really important that we ensure that our instructional practices and experiences in remote instruction are both engaging and developmentally appropriate for young learners. Our remote learning framework will encompass both synchronous learning, where teachers and students are present at the same time on the remote platform, but most of the learning in early grades will be asynchronous, where teachers and students can log in at different times. We know that we don't want children sitting on a screen all day long, that's not what's developmentally appropriate for them. And so our daily schedules will have a combination of both types of learning opportunities. Children in early grades will not be on video calls longer than 15 to 30 minutes, dependent on their grade level, and that's for pre-K to 2. And video calls will be offered in both a whole group setting to make connections with their friends and their teacher and their whole class, and small groups and one-on-one opportunities.
Thanks so much. That's excellent information, because as we know, it would not be appropriate for a young child to be in front of their computer screen for that long a span. And of course, even holding their attention and being engaging, it's going to look differently. And another question that we receive is around technology. And so what if students do not have technology? What technology will be provided to them?
This is a really important question, and I know that we face this in the spring. And so we've been working really hard with our tech team in the process of securing iPads for students in pre-K to 2. And so we're not encouraging that students be on the device for all of their learning time, but we recognize that a device is important for the family to connect with us and for students to be able to connect and use that device to enhance their learning. And so to get this technology for families who need it, we'll soon be activating our AISD Cloud Technology Distribution Tile for both staff and families. And through this tile in the Parent Cloud, families will be able to make device requests and monitor that status. So families who are not able to use the Parent Cloud can contact their campus, and campus staff can log the family's request using a similar tile in the Austin ISD Staff Cloud. To help families prepare for this system, we are encouraging everyone to set up their Parent Cloud accounts. Families can ask their school office staff to send a FastPass email to the parent email address on file, or they can click on the Parent Cloud account creation button at my.austinisd.org. Families can also contact the Parent Support Line for assistance at 512-414-9187 and press option 6. We really want to make sure that we get all the necessary tools and resources out to families.
Absolutely, and thank you for the information, Amy. What about, we know as teachers, as administrators on the campus, we know we do our best work when our kids are with us in school for face-to-face instruction. So we will hopefully at some point get back to that. Although we know right now, if school begins August 18th, it's all virtual instruction. But once we do get back at some point to face-to-face instruction, what are the safety protocols we're going to have in place for young learners?
Yeah, I think that's a critical thing. As a principal of an early childhood center, my mantra was always safety first. And so we want to make sure that all of our students, staff, and families know that we have developed recommendations for our classroom teachers upon return to campus buildings. And all of our recommendations are based on information provided from the Texas Education Agency, the Center for Disease Control, our Travis County Public Health officials, and our Austin Public Health officials, and the National Association of Education for Young Children. And I also want people to know that principals at each campus are working closely with district facilities and safety officials to ensure that every building is equipped with tools, personal protective equipment, and resources needed to comply with state and local COVID public health and safety guidelines. And so this will include hand sanitizing stations and masks for students who cannot bring one from home, masks that cover the face, masks that cover the mouth and nose will be required for grades 3 and older, and face shields will be required for grades 2 and younger. And we also are, as we're planning and thinking about children coming back into the classroom, we're thinking about how many children will be in the classroom, and we're planning for 6 to 8 children per teacher for one-time face-to-face instruction. And as we learn more, we learn more about what's happening, we'll continue to think about that and communicate guidance.
Absolutely, thank you for that. As we work with CDC guidelines, CEA guidelines, how we can best keep our youngest learners most safe at school. And so one other question that we get is something we started many years ago, is around tuition pre-K. So will we continue our AISD pre-K tuition-based program?
That is a great question. I know many of our families are asking that right now. And so we will be able to offer remote learning for our pre-K students, and that will be both in our state-funded program and our tuition program. Our tuition rates will remain at the $4,950 for the year, or $550 per month for pre-K 4, and it's half of that cost for pre-K 3. I do want our community to know that our program is taught by a certified pre-K teacher. We'll be working and delivering a high-quality play-based early childhood curriculum that's aligned to our Texas standards. Being part of the remote learning for pre-K tuition will provide connections with campus community and the campus culture. It'll support fostering interactions with peers and other families on the campus. And students will have access not only to our curriculum but also our curriculum resources, whether those be digital or just the activities that we're putting out. And that'll include the iPads, our Seesaw digital learning platform for schools, remote learning tool, some different other programs like Dreambox and Imagine Learning. So we do understand that the tuition program may not work for families at this particular point in time. And should they choose not to participate, they contact our office and we won't be able to hold seats, but we certainly will be able to put them back on a waiting list for seats that are available when we do return face-to-face.
Thank you so much, Ms. Cortez Castillo. It's great to have you with us and share information about early childhood education. I want to thank you so much for being in the superintendent check-in and answering some questions that many were wondering. And I know we're putting out as much information as we can, but I think it's helpful to hear directly from our leadership. And certainly thank you for your leadership in the area of early childhood education.
You're welcome, Dr. Cruz. Thank you for having me today. Thank you.
Thanks again. And I appreciate everybody checking in with the superintendent check-in. We're learning all things early childhood education. For additional information, please check on our AISD website for more information about reopening schools around early childhood education, but all other programs as well. Thank you.
Bye.